The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 19th day of May, 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with you in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Hey, it's a short week this week, everybody. How's everyone feeling? It's a this feels like summer. This feels like summer. It feels like summer. You know how Bermudians and summer go. We've got May, we've got June, we've got July, August, September. Like it's a holiday. Well, I think this year, yeah. First day of cup matches, last day of July, and first. You get my point. There's a holiday every month, and we have short weeks. So I'm excited. I'm happy. For some, this is the unofficial start of summer this coming weekend. And although it's on the 23rd, we already did this. We asked you, do you say Bermuda Day or 24th of May? Well, it's 24th of May, May 24th. You know how it is. So I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm not excited that we're only going to be with you for 4 days this week, but I'm excited and happy that Bermuda Day will be celebrated in so many different ways by so many of us. So really, really looking forward to the unofficial start of summer. And if you missed it, you know, you had the Maui parade that they have every year. Loyal Hill had their thing. Big up to Trevor Lindsay, always covering most things in the community. Suzanne Ingham says, super awesome Monday, Jamel and Maya. Loyal Hill parade was awesome yet again this year. And indeed. I saw some of it on TNN. So big up to everyone in Loyal Hill for that's the sense of community we need in Bermuda, right? We speak so often about the things that don't look good or aren't going good, but that's some positivity and keeping things going. So love to see it, Loyal Hill. Big up to everyone up Loyal Hill for ensuring that there's a sense of community flowing through on a regular basis and making the most of our holidays. All right, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Michee Barclay on from Warwick United Majorettes. They're celebrating 50 years, 50. Yes, I was about to say they're older than Sherry, but not quite, but you get my point. We've got 50 years of Warwick United Majorettes. I'm really looking forward to hearing the story, how they've been able to evolve and, just maintain their presence throughout this time. I mean, the world has changed, right? But it's nothing like a majorette and drum co-op, and looking forward to the conversation with Miss Barclay. And hopefully that means we'll inspire so many others. We have a majorette and a former drummer on our Daily Hour team. I want to see if the audience can guess who the former majorette is and who the former drummer is. Let's put it out there for you all. Anyway, the daily play today is Bermuda Trivia, folks, Bermuda Trivia. So I don't yet have a question for you. So I've got between now and the end of the show to find a Bermuda Trivia question for you. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's jump right into the conversation this morning, folks. Hey, this is your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. We just had a graduation last week, Bermuda College. had a graduation, a commencement, and the commencement speech was delivered by Tariq Lynch Wade, who was recently on this show. Awesome gentleman, a role model, whether he chose to be or not. And I didn't catch the entire speech, but did read snippets, and just awesome messaging throughout. But it begs the question that every May, so many students throughout the world graduate from college. And we speak about community on this show. This is the home for community conversations. And we need together today to provide some community wisdom, community words, advice for 2025 college graduates. What advice would you give to 2025 college graduates? What advice would you give them? But also a yes or no question. Yes or no question. Do you believe a college degree is still worth it in 2025? Do you believe a college degree is still worth it in 2025? That's a yes or no question. Do you believe a college degree is still worth it in 2025? But also, what advice would you give to college graduates? What advice would you give to 2025 college graduates? What advice would you give them? Let us know what advice. And again, congratulations to every last student who graduated. I can't say I haven't been through a few college graduations myself. It's a relief. It is a relief to finally finish. But the question of the morning, what advice would you give to 2025 college graduates? What advice would you give them? And do you believe a college degree is still worth it? Do you believe a college degree is still worth it? Yes or no? Traveling Trotty says yes to a college degree still being worth it. Okay. Anybody else? Yes or no? Do you believe a college degree is still worth it? Yes or no? We've got Hadley and Swan says yes. All right. We've got Anthony Richardson says yes. Okay. Who else? Anyone else? Do you believe a college degree is still worth it? But also, what advice would you give to 2025 college graduates? What advice would you give to 2025 college graduates? I'm going to say no, a college degree isn't still worth it across the board. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think especially Black people, we need to come out of that mindset. This might offend or upset a few people, but a college degree is not necessary, and it's definitely not still worth it. When you think worth it, right? Come on, you all read Forbes, you read Business Insider, you read Inc.com, right? You do. You know that there are very few college degrees that when they say worth it, you break it down, that are worth it. Now, are there some degrees that are worth it? Heck yes. Craig Simmons came on this show last year, a year before, he told you. You want a degree that's worth it? Go to a community college. It costs less, and you're more likely to make your money back without the crazy student loans and the like. So I think broadly, no, a college degree isn't still worth it across the board. But if you're smart, and again, I'm going to use Craig Simmons. If you're smart about how you go about getting your degree, were you invested in? We're not living in this era where you need to go to some Ivy League or some big expensive private school anymore. It's not the degree that determines how you do in life. It's you, it's your attitude. It's what you add to that, right? So no, I completely disagree with everyone who said yes, that a college degree is still worth it. I believe certain degrees. No, I'm not. None of us are probably going to go to a doctor who probably hasn't gotten a degree. Likewise, a dentist or, educator, right? We might trust a degree a bit more. But I don't need my mechanic of 20 years to spend money on a degree when he knows what he's doing. Maybe certifications every now and then to help, understand how technology has evolved. But yeah, that's where I stand on it. What advice? All right, let's move on. What advice would you give to 2025 college graduates. So we've got Anthony Richardson says, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Okay. WKD Lama says, learning doesn't stop at graduation. No, it is not worth it. Okay. Agrees. College is not worth it. Okay. Sean Smith also says college degree, no, it's not worth it, but says keep on learning. Okay. Nicole Hassel says definitely yes to a college degree being worth it. My advice would be that if you don't get the job you want, do something else until you can get that job. Let's stop there. Do we go to college to get a job? Like, why do we go to college? Okay, let's answer this question. Why do we go to college? Why do we go to college? I'd really like to know what's the consensus of why do we go to college? Is it because it became the norm and systemically we were told that's what we need to do? We needed a degree. Is it because we wanted a job? Because Black people always got jobs. We always got jobs. And if we didn't get one, we created one. We created industry. We invented stuff for ourselves. So why did college become so normal? I'm genuinely asking if anyone knows. And let me be clear, because the late Laverne Ferbert used to get on me during these conversations. Well, Jamal, I think it's unfair that you're speaking down on college education and you have multiple degrees. I'm not speaking down on college education. I'm actually trying to get us to think beyond what's normal. And that's part of the question. Like I did a post, I think it's been 13 years this year, 13 years today, actually, or yesterday, or the day before, whatever, since I graduated with my MBA. And there were so many lessons in that, right? A degree doesn't guarantee a job. I think that's one of the things where so many young Bermudians come back to Bermuda, they have these degrees and they are upset they can't find jobs. And I'm like, you believe the hype. A degree doesn't guarantee you anything. I'll use this field. You don't need a degree in media, any broadcasting or journalism to be good at it, you know. Some of the greatest journalists don't have degrees in journalism. Some of the greatest broadcasters and radio hosts have never like stepped a day in a classroom to study this stuff. I'm not crapping on those who have degrees. I'm simply saying, ask ourselves, why do we go to college? I mean, yeah, lawyers make sense. Doctors make sense. Mind you, I don't even think lawyers make sense because you got to be a great talker, know how to debate and argue and so on. But I think we need to start asking ourselves questions about what's normal to us. And asking ourselves, if we could give ourselves advice, remember, we got to take our own advice first. What would we say to the class of 2025? Suzanne Ingham says yes to a college degree, depending on the field you want to go into. Nursing, doctor, you can, I believe she says, work your way up. As my people don't have degrees and do exceptionally well. Charles A. Shuffs II says, I think gaining knowledge and experience is most valuable. Sometimes that's in college. For others, that might be taking a training and overseas course. Yeah. Don't get me, I loved my college experience. I absolutely loved it. And that's because I was very extroverted. I was very personable back then. I actually liked people a bit more in person. Now I just sit behind this computer and mic and talk to you. I'm not in your presence physically. But no, I loved my college experience. I was the guy in the hallway shaking every hand. I hosted open mics in undergrad. I was the first president of my school radio station. In graduate school, I wrote for the paper. I was engaged with people, right? But also I was engaged beyond school. I was like coached, I was mentoring. I loved my college experience. I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not change it for the world. But I think the growth and the knowledge and the experience goes beyond the classroom for me. Suzanne Ingham said, many people do exceptionally well without a degree. WKD Lama said, I did it to get a job, went to college to get a job. I never got the job I wanted. Anika Shields says, to get more professional jobs. Man, I sat in an office with a gentleman. I'm not going to call his name, but many of us know him. He's a Portuguese gentleman in Bermuda. And I'll never forget, he used to brag about not having a degree. Man was making $200,000 back in like 2000, 99, 2000. And So you don't need no college degree, man. Now, he and I look very differently. We sound differently, obviously. There's probably privilege on one side and not the other. But he told me, he's like, look, man, I took a few insurance training classes. It didn't like, I think and I want us to think deeply about this. There's one group I know who are so infatuated almost with believing that college degrees equate to better opportunities. You know, I know someone who was doing selling shoes at a retailer in the US, and they said that job required a bachelor's degree. And you start to look at the system. Why would a job to sell shoes or be a cashier need a bachelor's degree? And you understand how systems work together. So if that person's paying for a bachelor's degree, they're indebted to the system, right? Because they got to pay those loans. They're going to have a job that doesn't really pay much, right? Again, go back to that work. Is it worth it, right? And you start to question, how are people supposed to make it if the entry-level jobs are now requiring bachelor's degrees? I'm shocked no one said it today. I'm shocked no one said it. But college has turned into a business rather than a place for growth and true education. Or maybe it's always been. Some of us are just waking up to it. Anthony Richardson says, partly driven by societal norms as another means to bring about critical thinking. I'll say this, man, the greatest education I've received has been beyond the classroom. But that's just my own experience. I would not downplay my in-class experiences, especially at Bermuda College with Dana Lightbourne. I'm not going to act like college didn't make a difference for me. But again, I could have done at Bermuda College what I did at more expensive colleges outside of Bermuda. And that's where I agree with Craig Simmons. I literally could have. And Bermuda College isn't paying me to say this. Let me be very clear. They are not. They've never paid me $1 in my life, I don't believe. As an individual, they have not. But that's I don't know. Charles H. Jefferson II says, my advice for college graduates is that you haven't arrived. Ooh, that's a big one. I believe that colleges teaches one to learn how to learn. One thing I really appreciate about college is the different classes that you do to help you become a more well-rounded individual. Like I did a class, I needed one more elective, and I did marriage and the family. Yeah, I'm dead serious. That was my final class in undergrad, marriage and the family. Yeah, it was boring. It was boring for me, man. Seriously. I'm a young 20-something year old, like married. I didn't want to study that stuff, but I learned a lot from it. I did. Like the class was like a marriage counseling course for me. It was like, it taught you there's so many factors, right? So many factors, right? And in a world that's so open, how, hey, two people from the same neighborhood, two different households could literally come from two different worlds. Like you may practice one religion, they may practice another. How that impacts relationship. I'm just sharing that's helped me become broad, because then you tied it into the workplace. How in a workspace, you're going to have so many different people, regardless of where they're from. They're all going to be different and bring different with personalities. So that's how I was able to tie that class into my teachings, my business degrees. Anthony Pete says, my advice to have an entrepreneurial mindset. My hope, if a path of college sought, that from high school, you are connecting and researching all of the possibilities. I like that. Entrepreneurial mindset is important. Michael Daniel says, be prepared to change your opinion as new information becomes available to you. I love this. I love that right there. Again, question of the morning, what advice would you give to 2025 college graduates? Charles H. Jefferson II says the world changes so fast. Things like AI were not as prevalent when many of the 2025 college graduates started college, but here we are today. Indeed, Charles. Anika the Shield says, remember, we still have to be 4 times better, more qualified. You know, Anika, I'm not disagreeing with you, sister. But part of that system is we also have to be more broke and set ourselves back further. It's a tough world for us out here, sis. I got you. I don't disagree with you. Renee Simmons says students need to research areas of optimum interest first. There are many who do not use that college degree and excel in other areas. Times have changed. Robotics will take many jobs. Prepare for that for sure. Prepare for that. All right, let's bring Maya Pelosi of the Daily Hour News Break. Keep it coming, though, audience. Honestly, keep it coming. Hopefully, we'll have this question up later because there are so many people in our lives, in our community, who are graduating with degrees. And one of the things I really do not like to see in Bermuda is young people returning to Bermuda and feeling, one, that they can't find a job, and two, feeling entitled to a job. I'm going to say this now, and I'll probably say it later. A degree does not guarantee you anything. Anything. It doesn't. College graduates, get yourselves a coach, get yourselves a mentor. That's what I would say to you. And get some thick skin, because it ain't easy out here. It really, really isn't easy out here. All right, let's read this last comment. Mayola John says, some positions require degrees which once in those positions have nothing to do with the job. The requirement is/may be more to prove dedication, ability to learn, or know how to spend money on something to, break your pocket. Yeah. All right, let's give thanks to our partners who proudly underwrite and support our daily discussion.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Alrighty, folks, do not forget, we've got a conversation coming up with Michee Barclay of Warwick United Majorettes and Drum Corps. They are celebrating 50 years. Yeah, 50. Yep. Older than me, younger than Sherry. Yep, 50 years, folks. And we've got Maya Pelosi coming up with your Daily Hour News Break. But before we do that, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, whatever platform you're on, do us a huge favor right now. Give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues, whoever you know. We want to ensure that everyone is a part of these conversations that take place on a regular basis for you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. Looks overcast where you are.
It is. At least not another weather for today.
Well, look, she just gave you a weather report without having to say a word, folks. It looks great. Oh, your hair is blowing. Nice hairdo.
Thank you. It's the natural stuff that grows out of my hair.
Yeah. See, I tried, folks. I tried. MP, we're talking about college this morning, man. You went college more recent than most of us, and I say us because I'm not trying to call the audience old this time. But you think a degree is still worth it?
I think a degree is definitely still worth it. The price, though, is not. I think always learning and educating yourself is great. I think being able, even if you stay here in Bermuda or if you go away, having to learn that independence now, having to rely primarily on yourself and to get some discipline when it comes to your own work and when it's supposed to be doing, not, again, relying on your parents. Because in university, professors will treat you a lot different than in high school. They're not going to be like, I'm not going to talk to your mama about why you didn't get in your assignment. So It does teach you a little bit of something for those who definitely do need to learn that lesson, especially when you come from an island like ours, which is primarily kind of sheltered, and it's very like one piece and one still. So I think it's definitely worth getting a degree, worth continuing your education, not worth the price though. And that's where we fall short globally. It's not worth the price.
Yeah, and that's what I think people need to consider when they say worth it. I think, again, Craig Simmons pretty much kind of told us, like, if you want a degree, here's how you could do it and make sense of it. Like, I don't think, and this is a big thing in the United States right now, I don't think people should be going in debt to get a college education.
Yeah.
I don't think people should have 20-year loans. And I want people to understand that's what we mean in asking the question, is it worth it? Like, if you look at it like that, it's probably not. But you can never underestimate the ability to learn in a setting that tests your ability to actually complete tasks, right? Yeah.
I agree.
All right, what you got for us today?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the good people at People's Pharmacy. We know Bermuda Day is coming up. Again, don't just protect your spot, protect your skin. They have a long list of sunscreen products, as well as the Black Girl Magic one, and they have the male version, as we talked about, the man version side that we talked about last week on the show. So definitely want to get there to get what you need. All right, so we're going to start out this news break this morning about details around this image that I'm going to pull up in front of the screen here. So this was published both on TNN and the Bermuda Police channels, and according to police, around 12:30 a.m. on Sunday, May 18th, they received a report of a single vehicle road traffic collision in Watlington Road East in Devonshire. Now, upon arrival, officers observed a motor car overturned, as you see, resting on its roof and blocking the roadway. There was no one inside the vehicle, but checks at the hospital confirmed that the motor car driver, a 50-year-old woman, had attended seeking medical attention following this incident. Now, she did not appear to have suffered any serious injuries, thankfully. So an investigation into this matter is now underway, and anyone with information is asked to contact the police as soon as they can about this information. You can call 295-0011.
Okay. What I'm not going to do is, I think it's unfair for us, the public, to jump to conclusions when we see that and think the worst. We've had recent situations where people have gotten into very bad crashes and it's been a medical mishap or something like that, right? So I think it's unfair to do that. But in saying that, I just think the state of what's happening on our roads is concerning overall. I think you see an image like that, and it's, of course, your mind's going to run right to something. But I am just happy in what Maya said just now, that it doesn't appear as if the person involved has any serious injuries, and hopefully whatever led to the crash can be investigated fully, and we can learn from this stuff. I really hope we can learn from it. Even if you're not, let's say it was a medical mishap, if people are not well, hopefully they have family members they can call who can take them to spaces instead of them having to operate vehicles on their own,
Yeah, I agree. Now, continue on with a little bit of road things. So if you need another reminder as to why the roads are consistently taking a back seat, the Premier reminds us in the House of Assembly that in order to achieve other goals, sacrifices must be made. So these marks came from the opposition leader. I guess his response came from the opposition leader, Mr. Jarian Richardson, who once again questioned the Premier on the state of our roads in the House of Assembly, particularly the delays. And here was the Premier's response.
I would like to remind the honorable opposition leader that we have returned this country to a balanced budget, and that has required significant sacrifice. As I mentioned in my budget statement last year, we recognize that some of the things that have to, in many times in areas, be cut back in historical spending terms are in capital works. And that has not been going on just the last 7 years. That has been going on, as I mentioned in my statement, since 2010, with the requirements and financial discipline to get us back to the space of a balanced budget. But it is important to note that this government has increased capital spending significantly over the past 3 years. Prior to us even achieving a balanced budget, made the decision to delay the achievement of balanced budget to invest more money into capital spending.
It's interesting because I've heard people say that the Premier, in his bid to have a balanced budget, has neglected other things. Look, I don't envy David Burt at all as the finance minister. I don't. The fact is this: Bermuda's roads are horrendous. That's a fact. I don't think that's, or it's a very strong opinion. But comparatively speaking, Bermuda's roads are very bad. We need to, I guess, figure out if the balanced budget is more important than the safety of our roads. I'll leave it at that.
Well, like I presented here on the show, the story with SEL, the CEO had mentioned that this has been such a consecutive thing. Like he said, it's not just even this current government, it's been governments over decades that just keep neglecting our roads, or just, primarily put in the back spot. And now, we're in this era where it is it is so bad over the last 3-5 years. It's just been horrendous, worse. And now what we don't have a plant that's operational. We're continuously waiting on things to come through. Things that should have happened 6 months ago is now a year later, and just consistently things are just falling and taking the backseat when it comes to the roads. And so yes, SEL is going to step up and assist the government, but again, that also comes with needing the funding to actually be put and relocated in those places so that they can pay their workers, so that the workers can get the job done. Because the last thing we want to hear about is Bermudian workers taking on these tasks, trying to fill out these requirements over some short period of time. Obviously, everyone's also seeing how they're waiting for this to happen, but for them, it's like, we're trying to take this on, but we want them to be compensated well as well.
Indeed. Absolutely.
So it's a mixture of things. All right, it seems like today is going to be a lot of talking about roads and public transportation, because now we're going to move on to our next story here, speaking on the government and their initiatives. And this is for the audience and for you too, Jamal. Yes or no, has anyone downloaded and used the SureLink app?
No.
Has anyone downloaded and used the SureLink app? Okay, strong no for you. I'll have to say no too on my end here. Haven't needed to do public transportation since I've been back. And that's just how it's been. Oh, for those who don't remember or recall, the SureLink app is the first digital fare media system for Bermuda's public transportation. So it was released back in July of 2024 and provides passengers access to public transport, so the buses and the ferries. That's what it is. All right.
Some no's, audience.
Couple no's. No. All right. Well, Simone Vaughan took it upon herself to find out who is using it, why or why not, and what's potentially going to be the next step in a paperless government, and how our local public transport drivers are responding to it. So here's your story.
Public transportation is widely used to get around Bermuda for citizens and tourists. Traditionally, tickets, tokens, and passes for the bus and ferry have only been available for physical purchase. The SureLink app, which was released almost a year ago on July 8th, offered a new digitized way for people to buy their fares online. Introducing new ways of doing things in society can be a process. Here's how people are adjusting.
We're older, we're not big online stuff. I mean, we had the tokens, that works for us. We're just old school, so we kind of like the simpler buy and get the coins and have it. I mean, I've done some online stuff. I guess I would if we had to, but everyone seems to be going that way, so you just don't know. If we would like to come, we love Bermuda. It's one of our favorite places. So if we came back next time and that's the way we had to do it, I'm sure we would figure it out like we always do. So.
Certain issues have arose with people switching over to the app, particularly for the elderly. The SureLink app only operates on Wi-Fi or data. For those who don't have either, using the app can be tricky.
And of course, cruise passengers don't always have Wi-Fi handy. Luckily, us, at the visitor service offer free Wi-Fi so they can activate before they get on the ferry. People that have been regular visitors to Bermuda, they know about the tickets, and especially the elderly folks. They tend to go to what they know. It's the younger ones that are more apt to get, and first-time visitors that are more apt to get to SureLink.
For passengers traveling from home or a place with Wi-Fi, there's a special hack they can use to get their digital ticket up on their phone.
When you leave home with your Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi will last for like 45 minutes. So if you can catch the bus like in half an hour, you get to the bus and it will work on the bus. But if you're away a long time, then when you come to the bus, sometimes maybe it will come in, but when you go to load the second one to show it, it wouldn't load.
With these issues in mind, educating people on the SureLink app is pivotal, especially when government departments are going cashless.
I think most people, they will probably want to pay cash or just use a credit card than the SureLink. The VIC and Dockyard, right, they have gone cashless now. So anybody that's catching the ferry from Dockyard from off the ship, they would have to pay, they have to use their credit card, especially if they ain't got the SureLink. So in the future, the government, our department is going to go cashless as well. Yeah, don't know when, but it's going to happen.
However, workers in the transportation industry encourage fellow citizens and visitors to at least try the SureLink app.
My mama is 84 years old, and my mama can do her thing on her SureLink better than I can. It works. It really works. Just try it.
Okay. Question. I don't know if you know this answer. Do the buses not have Wi-Fi on them?
No. And while covering the story, we found out that They don't have Wi-Fi. They're planning to have Wi-Fi. They don't know when it's going to actually be implemented. But they do have charging ports on the buses now, for those who didn't know that.
So hold on. Titan Express, shout out to Titan, have Wi-Fi, but the public buses don't. Okay, got you.
Well, yeah, there's the story there. And we also got to speak to some of the bus drivers about, like, experiences of what it's like now on the bus, how attitudes are, how people are, how things may have changed over the years that they've been bus drivers. So hopefully we'll bring you another story later on about that one too. All right, we're going to end up with some sports related news here because, we have been doing amazing with our athletes, but particularly we're going to talk about Caitlin Bob. So Bermudian's Caitlin Bob is burning up the track. And over the weekend, Bob claimed the title of ACC Women's 400-meter champion, representing Virginia Tech. But she didn't just win, she actually wrote in the record books too. So she set a new Virginia Tech program record in the 400-meter with a blazing time of 51.57 seconds, smashing her own previous mark and once again breaking her own Bermuda national record in the process. So Caitlin Ball, Bermuda's fastest 400-meter woman, just got faster.
Her smile is so beautiful. It like I want who she reminds me of? She reminds me of the Brazilian players. They used to play football with a smile. It was like they call it a samba style. Like she looks like she smiles and just has fun doing it. Me, I'm on the treadmill this morning. Like, how do you smile and do that? Sorry, she big up to Caitlin Bob.
Yeah. She's really awesome. Love watching her perform. I think a lot of our athletes are doing amazing. And we also heard Dej Miner's actually got a new PB in his 10K as well. I think it was 30 minutes and about 20 something seconds. I could be off a little bit, but he made a new PB in that and won the race up in Bristol. So that was really awesome for him too. So big well done to our track athletes. They're doing big things.
Good stuff. How's the weather looking?
Weather's looking like it's supposed to brighten up a little later, but it's going to be cloudy for particularly most of it. It might sprinkle. Thankfully, it hasn't yet. So that's what we're looking at today with a high of 79. So cloudy skies, hoping for a break of sunshine.
All righty. Thank you so much for that, man. It's Malcolm X Day today.
I should have known that.
Yeah, it's Malcolm X Day. It's Plant Something Day, by the way. Bingo's doing very well for those who care. But I want to go with something. I want to see if the audience can be nice. I want to see if we can be nice.
I think our audience are great.
It's Celebrate Your Elected Officials Day. Exactly. So we're going to be nice, audience, and Maya. If you could celebrate one elected official in Bermuda, who would it be? One currently elected official in Bermuda. Audience, let's be good now. There's someone. Okay, at least two. At least one, though. Maya's got two. Audience, answer this question. It's Celebrate Your Elected Officials Day. If you can celebrate just one elected official, who would it be? Maya, you said you have two.
Yeah, I'm going to go first with Dwayne Robinson for OBA. I've known Dwayne for a very long time. It's been a very close, friendly family member of my friend of the family. So, and I've seen his progression from a very, steady age. And he just keeps on trucking, and he's always out there with the community. And I know people who have walked around with him who just say, like, look, he's willing to talk to anyone. He doesn't care if you're OBA, PLP, FDM, independent, whatever. He just wants to know what you want done. So big up to Dwayne Robinson. And second one, I'll go with Lawrence Scott, because I've seen a lot of his constituents, particularly Media Maya, who responded to when I've asked these questions, say that, he's always out there either mowing lawns or putting up those events he does every Saturday so people can sell their objects too, and he's just been a pretty good staple in their community. So I'll give it up to those two.
Cool. So Dwayne Robinson, Lawrence Scott. Okay. Kenton Trott says Dwayne Robinson, Renee Ming. Dorian says MP Curtis Dickinson. We've got Sean Smith says Ming Fogo. I believe that's Levita Fogo. Jody Zool says Renee Ming. We've got, we said elected, but WKD Lama says Eugene Dean, the people's premier. He's not elected, but I take your answer. Chris Famous says Anthony Richardson. Renee Ming says Tanya Cheeseman. Shayna Smith says I was going to say Dwayne Robinson too. Okay. Suzanne Ingham says, what kind of question is that, Jamal? That's a long thought. Karen Simmons says Renee Ming. And Shawnette Bauer says Renee Ming, Tanae Farbert. I can't name just one, right? Tanya Cheeseman says Tanae Farbert. I would actually be able to name probably of the 36 elected, I could probably name at least 10. I would.
Yeah, I agree.
And I say that because I know you all think I don't like politicians and politics, and you're probably right in your thoughts. But that doesn't mean I think that they're all bad people or politics represents all evil. I think there are actually very good people who get involved and they want to do things and they do things. But it's not a I thing; it's a team thing. If I could name one, the first person that does come to mind is Renee Ming. She's the first person that comes to mind. But I have a lot of love for Dwayne Robinson, right? I've actually grown to like Owen Darrell, the way he's handled the BTA thing. I have a lot of love for Tanae Furbert and why can't I remember? Emily Gill, MP Emily Gill up in the Dockyard. And there are people who haven't been elected, but I want people to understand there are people who get in politics who we absolutely can definitely celebrate, appreciate, but all of that comes with accountability. Maya, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right. You know how to, Maya, were you ever a majorette?
No.
You know how to like turn a baton thing?
Oh yeah. I used to do it with my field hockey actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, my field hockey stick.
My 2-year-old niece, I saw a video of her this weekend, and I don't know, she thinks she's gonna be a majorette, and she was trying to twirl it, and I'm like, man, look at her. And I'm just like, I've never known how to do it, but the fact that you can twirl one of those things, that's talent right there, ain't it?
It is talent. I will say this though, no offense to my mama, but she didn't allow my sister-in-law to be majorettes. Indigo wanted to be a majorette so badly. We had the majorette baton in the house, but she didn't let her be a majorette.
So your mama was like, I'm gonna call that person out, because I told her daughter on that Relay for Life, Karen Simmons. Yeah, she didn't let her daughter be a majorette either. But me and her daughter's working on it. We'll get her back. We'll get her back.
I'm sure Indigo might join the team now. She's that excited with her daughter. So
Mama
yeah.
Palacio, we ain't gonna hold the gang shit, but we're gonna talk about you. Have a great day, MP. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
All right, Maya Palacio, she wearing a majorette, but Michee Barclay is gonna come up and tell us why. Parents, don't worry. It's okay to be a majorette. Stick with us. We'll be back after this short break.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Attention home renovators and design lovers, your dream space starts here. The brand new Kohler retail showroom at BAC Group is now open, bringing you up to 35% savings on all Kohler products at U.S. manufacturer suggested retail prices. That means no extra fees, no freight, no wharfage, no duty, no document processing fees, just pure cutting-edge Kohler design at unbeatable value. From sleek kitchen and bathroom faucets, vanities, toilets, to statement sinks, walking tubs, and spa-worthy bathtubs, BAC brings innovation and luxury within reach. Visit the BAC showroom on Mill Creek Road today for style, quality, no surprises. Just color from BAC.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep. delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Before we bring our guest in, I need a big favor. If you haven't already, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, name it, LinkedIn, take this moment to give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Subscribe if you haven't already, but help us beat the algorithm so that we can ensure everyone has access to these community conversations. Hey, it is Malcolm X Day real quickly, and Michee Barclay did say there's an event commemorating Malcolm X's 100th birthday today, 6:30 p.m. at Delwood. Yeah, all right. 100 years old. And Karen Simmons says she's happy she's not the only parent who didn't allow her daughter to be a majorette. We've got Michee Barclay. We're going to talk about the Karen Simmonses of the world. All right. Celebrating 50 years Warwick United. Let's give a warm TDH welcome to Michee Barclay. All right. Calm down. Good morning. Happy Monday. And how are you?
Good morning, Jamal, the Daily Hour, Bermuda. I am good this morning. I'm a bit nervous.
No, don't do that. No need to be nervous. You're not a politician. We ain't going to ask you no trick questions.
Look, you could put me out in front of a group, lead the group with my eyes closed, no problem, but this is nervous. I'm very nervous.
You know what's interesting about that? I'm going to use Michael Jackson, right? Because majorettes, again, I don't know how you all do it, right? You've got to walk this long parade route. You've got to know how to twist a baton. Then you got dance to a beat. Like it's so much good, isn't it? But you got to go across hundreds of people. And how are you nervous? Michael Jackson, they say, was the most shy person ever, but you would never know it with the way he performed in front of millions. Do you guys have the Michael Jackson effect?
I guess. Well, yeah, we do, because we are, I wouldn't say we are the blueprint for most of the major groups that have come and gone. So yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it, because first off, congratulations on reaching this incredible milestone. Let's go back, because we're talking 1975, if my math's correct. How did you all begin? How did Warwick United begin?
Correct. So I wasn't born in 1975. My mom, who was then June Tuzo, she was a former majorette of North Village. North Village, they closed out, and her love and passion for majorette, she decided that she wanted to start her own groups. At the age of 18, she ran around her neighborhood, which is the Spring Hill area. She recruited some of her friends, her sisters, Debbie and Rita also assisted with her, and that's how Warwick Majorettes was formed in 1975. They actually trained at my grandmother's house on the railroad trail off of Spring Hill in 1975.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification. I didn't think you were born then.
She was then June Tuzo. I'm sorry, she was June Bailey. Sorry.
Bailey. Okay, June Bailey and Spring Hill. So, okay, 5 decades, right? How's the group evolved over that time as far as membership, performances, community involvement?
So as the involvement happened in 1975, our first performance was actually at the agricultural exhibition in 1975, and they performed to a record. In 1976, she went up to work. She was invited up to Warwick Workmen's Club, spoke with the management, and then we started. They started training out of Warwick Workmen's Club. From then, in our first parade, I believe, was actually 1981. So actually, our group is older than the Heritage Bermuda Day Parade. So our first parade was 1981, I believe, and we had the honor and privilege to have the Bermuda Regiment Band to accompany us as our band. So we are the only group, majorette group in Bermuda that had that privilege of having the Bermuda Regiment Band be our band for that year. Then we evolved. The next year we had to get our own band. My mother actually approached the Robert Crawford School, and they had some drummers there. So in 1982, we had the Robert Crawford Band actually accompanied us. In 1983, my mom's first cousin, Terry Flood, he actually formed our first Warwick United band. So that's how the group evolved as far as the band perspective. As far as the majorette perspective, it grew in terms of the numbers. We started out only 20 majorettes in 1975, and then we grew larger as the years progressed. In 1985, I believe was the year we had the most majorettes, of 120 majorettes that year.
That's history right there. And again, that Bermuda Regiment piece right there, that's something for the books. That's something for the books right there. Okay, just shifting real quickly. So when you get like younger people coming in or new people joining Warwick United, do you actually share the history and all of that, what you just shared with them? Like, do they go through an orientation process or something?
Unfortunately, you know what? That's nothing. We have never really done that. No, unfortunately, we've had previous newspaper articles citing our history, but no, we have not actually told our members the history. But in speaking with my mom, she is looking to do write a book about the history of Warwick United majorettes.
Yeah, no, that's incredible history right there. And I see we've got a lot of, I believe they may be just fans, but probably some of your teammates, Shalay Thompson, Walk Tall, Warwick United. Is that part of your slogan? Walk Tall, Warwick United, says Sharnae Richardson.
Yes, all right, ladies. Woo, Walk Tall, Warwick United. Yeah, so Walk Tall was actually a motto from the Warwick Workmen's Club, I believe, either cricket or football team, I'm not too sure. Former radio personality Webster Tucker, he used to host, he used to be MC for the Bermuda Day Parade. So when we came down, he shouted out, Walk Tall, Warwick United. And then since then, that's where our motto, Walk Tall, came from. That is our, when you say that, we say it with pride. Like you could walk down the street, if you see a former member, if you say Walk Tall, their response will be Warwick United.
Indeed. All right. I know that now, folks. I'm learning today. See, I didn't need to go to college to learn about Warwick United, but it should be in some curriculum. Let's speak about some of the events, because you mentioned you started at the exhibition, older than Bermuda Day Parade itself. You participated in numerous events. What events stand out as some of the most memorable over the 50 years for Warwick United?
I think for us, we have done a lot of firsts. For myself, some of the events, well, we have done numerous community events, school fairs, Barclay Fair, we used to be St. Brandon's Day Parade. One of the most memorable for myself and a few select members of the group is we actually were invited to perform on the cruise ships when they used to come in and dock into Hamilton. So we were the first group. I'm not sure if we're the only group, but we were definitely the first group to actually perform on the cruise ships when they docked into Hamilton. It was us and the ladies that used to do like the limbo dancing. One of the most memorable, I would say, for all of the majorette groups at that time was in 1994. There was a contingent of majorettes that performed for Her Majesty, the Queen's royal visit in 1994. So it was a contingent of all the current majorettes, which consisted of Warwick majorettes, Hot Peppers, Dynamic City Rockettes, Uniquely Combined. So with that performance, I can't remember who were the organizers, but they actually wanted to bring in overseas coordinator to coordinate us majorettes to perform for the Queen. And they actually wanted us to like dance to country music and stuff. And my mom was like, no, this is not happening. We have capable women here who can do this. This is our country, our culture. So you're not going to, try and get us to march and perform American style. That is not us. So my mom, she spoke with the organizer. She had the support of the other majorette leaders. and she was actually selected to be the lead director for that performance. So, as me as her daughter, that, I was, very excited. That's a big honor and accomplishment for my mom to lead and direct a group. It consisted of about 200 members. So that was one of the most rewarding and memorable performances for myself, and I'm sure a lot of other majorettes as well.
I love that, representing. Mom didn't back down. Nope, we're not having it. I appreciate it. But speaking of the culture, right? Majorette culture has definitely seen some changes over the years, right? How has Warwick United been able to adapt to the changes while preserving its traditions over the 50-year period?
Okay, so the group actually closed out in 2014. Yeah, the last time we performed was 2014, and unfortunately, some of the reasons with that is with the challenges with the social issues that were happening, and especially with our young men. A lot of our young men that were our drummers had, were skeptical about going to certain places around the island and stuff. So that definitely hindered us as far as going forward, as far as having a band. So our involvement is we're actually now coming back out, celebrating our 50th anniversary. And with that, we have invited all former majorettes to come back. So we have ages from, I would say, late 20s right up to 60 years old. So we're looking to possibly continue on after this year, but we've always, from the start, we've always been a nonprofit group, and our leaders didn't get paid for their services and stuff, and it's more because we enjoy giving back to the community, giving back to the culture and heritage of Bermuda. So the involvement of the group, I would say, is that we have always encouraged young people to come in with their talents and just be involved in a positive way within the community.
Indeed. Let's speak about what goes into it, because we've had the Gumbayas on quite a few times. We had Kenneth Burgess on from the Hot Peppers recently as well. But training and discipline are key aspects of what you all do as far as your performances. Can you describe what goes into preparing for something like Bermuda Day for Warwick United, especially bringing people back into the fold?
So as far as, just speaking now with getting prepared for the 50th anniversary, I do want to thank my committee. I do want to thank my co-director, Anika Donowa, and I want to quickly thank my committee members, Michee Barclay, Pittis Emery, Cherie Wilkin, Chelsea Richardson, Tiara Carter, Talia Brathwaite. That is my team. If it wasn't for them, this would have been a challenge if it wasn't for my team. So I thank you very much for my team. So for Bermuda Day itself, we usually start training in January, and our training days are Wednesdays 6 to 8. As we got closer to the parade day, we increase our practices to twice a week, and then closer to the parade day, we actually increase our practices 3 times a week. So currently we are practicing Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays in preparation for Bermuda Day. It is a lot of time being put in it. We do assist members, like if you don't know how to twirl, we do teach members how to twirl. Oddly enough, my mom is left-handed, but you would never think that she's left-handed with her twirling. Yeah, so that's very interesting. But yes, we teach our ladies how to twirl. And for me, myself, as far as my group members, I ask them for 2 things during Bermuda Day. Is to smile and lift up your legs. That's all I ask for. So that's how we prepare. We definitely have our trainings are consistent. We definitely put our boots to the ground. So yeah.
Was that a hint that you all may be dancing to that new Boots on the Ground?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I'm like,
absolutely not. We will be marching with our band.
Okay,
yes. So shout out to our drum corps. We have some ill guys coming back, and again, they're gonna give us the beat. They're gonna have us, they're gonna have us stepping on the road.
All right. I love it. I love it. We've got, a lot of love. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Michee, please send them through. Anika Lambert Francis, Warwick United, 1975 to 2025, 50 years. Yeah, my math was right. Zakia Durham sending you some love. Chanel DeShields. Hannah Higgins says, Warwick United, ole, ole. We are going to be so beautiful, proud, high staffer. Do you know how many people right now you may have as far as majorettes?
Yes, so we have 65 majorettes, we have 16 drummers, and we have 7 little pom-pom girls. So within our majorettes, we have quite a few mother and daughter duos, which I'm very, excited. Actually, my oldest daughter is actually joining me this year, so I'm very excited. This is my first time marching with my oldest daughter. So now the Warwick majorettes have 3 generations. So my mom, myself, and my daughter. So we have, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Angela Gills says, congrats, Shay and Warwick United majorettes. Walk tall. We've got Anika DeShields. Warwick United is so mighty bad. We've got Warwick.
I just want to say, Aunt Angela, so actually getting the history from my mom, how we did become the Bermuda Regiment is because my mom and Aunt Angela's mom were good friends. And her brother, Turkey Deal, is actually the one who was able to, get the regiment to be our band for in 1981.
Love it. That's that North Village connection too. Audience, if you have any questions, come through. Community engagement. You mentioned something earlier. It's been a part of your mission, right? How does your group continue? I mean, I know you said there were some years you hadn't been present, but how can you continue to inspire and involve the younger generation to keep it going? And that's for both majorettes and the drum corps.
Well, yes, we're hoping that when they see us come out there, we will get more younger people involved in the majorettes. In the previous years, I felt that majorettes were no longer for the young, but the young at heart, because we definitely saw a decline of the younger ladies getting involved. We saw, when the dance groups started evolving, that's where these young ladies gravitated to, and majorettes kind of wasn't as popular. But we're hoping now, I'm getting kind of hopeful with my daughter actually being involved and a few of her friends. I'm like, okay, so maybe hopeful that the younger generation will now be excited and want to come back and join majorettes. So who knows, maybe Warwick majorettes revives majorettes in 2025 as well.
Yeah. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or make you emotional, but sometimes life is about legacy and carrying on things. How proud of you are you to carry on a legacy that your mother started 50 years ago?
I am very proud. I keep on saying I started majorettes when I was 2, but that's not the truth. I actually started in my mom's belly because she was pregnant with me when she was marching. So my first time parading was at 2. So I've been there for, you can do the math. And I hope that, I would love to pass it on to my daughters, but it's not something that is, they have to do. But with my strong support team and stuff, I think that we will be able to carry it on for a few more years, and maybe their kids will get involved with it. But the legacy of Warwick majorettes is we've always had family involvement, and it's always been family orientated. And I'm not most people know that when you see Warwick majorettes, that's Bailey's. But I'm hoping that my team and maybe their offsprings can carry it on as well. So maybe we can do another 20 years.
Indeed. We've got Leanne TC says, I'm mad I can't return to beat the drum.
Leanne.
Three Dills says, majorettes was life when I was young, so appreciative of my years with Warwick United. Sad I'm missing the reunion, but we'll be marching along online. So glad to see them back. When you see people who have participated, been part of Warwick United over the years, maybe they're not able to be a part of it. Some may have passed on. What does it make you feel like when you think of the impact that you've had over the last 50 years on so many people's lives and the path they've taken in life in terms of career and personal?
It's quite humbling to know the impact that Warwick majorettes has had on a lot of people's lives. Aunt June and Aunt Matika's name is known far and wide along throughout Bermuda. We got a lot of people. I feel if once you've been a Warwick majorette, the pride that you have of being a majorette, and you know that you are a part of history. Like Warwick majorettes is a part, is history in majorettes. We are the eldest group. We are the consecutive years as far as group as well. So I think it's very humbling, and yeah, we're just excited to just come back and celebrate 50 years.
You're saying the elders group. How important is the majorette culture to Bermuda Day, but not just Bermuda Day, but Bermuda overall?
I think that is important to the culture, as again going back to, and as it's in our name, united. It's, you know, it's the culture, the Bermuda Day. It's bringing the island together, being united, and I feel that I feel that to preserve the culture of the majorettes, us as parents, well, I'm kind of a young parent, but some of these older parents should educate their children on majorettes, because a lot of these younger ladies and drummers don't know the history and impact that majorettes have had throughout Bermuda and in the community.
Indeed. We've got a question. Karen Simmons asking, will Warwick majorettes be involved in the joint celebration after Heritage Parade? Sorry, forgot is it like the competition or majorette explosion or something like that?
We have been invited to one competition. I believe now there's actually two, and actually they're not competitions anymore. They are extravaganzas. I see that there are two being held on the 31st. So we have not been confirmed for either. So that's not confirmed. I'm not sure if you will be participating or not.
All righty. We've got Sharnae Richardson asking, what are the financial costs to support a majorette group, and how can the community support assist with that?
So as far as our group, I want to say that our uniform costumes have been reasonable. We try to keep the cost as reasonable as possible. This year, the cost was $450. So $50 was the registration fee, and that registration fee covers all shipping costs, duty costs associated with bringing in the costumes, because as most know, we import everything for Bermuda Day. And then it's $400 for the costume, and that it consists from your head to your toe. That's your hat, your plume, your uniform, and your boots. So that's when you first start. Now, if you want to continue on being a majorette, then the only cost that you would need for the next year would be just the uniform cost, because we do reuse our hats and boots. So the cost would be a little bit less if you do continue on.
All right. Kashante Shalana says, Warwick United is family. I'm so blessed to be a part of this amazing and profound group. We have a question. WKD Lama, do you already have to know how to drum before joining, or can boys learn after joining?
No, yes, we have an amazing team up the club currently, and we do have senior drummers who do teach the younger drummers how to drum.
All righty. We do have Charles H. Jefferson II. He's asking, just curious, why have some mothers not been willing to allow their daughters to participate as majorettes?
That's a question you would have to ask the mothers. I can't speak for why parents wouldn't allow their children. I really don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can ask Karen Simmons and Miss Palacio. I mean, I'm just saying, they were called out. Look, 50 years. Congratulations on that. What do you hope the community takes away from Warwick United's 50 years in the game?
I guess what we can take away is that once you have a strong foundation, right, you have people who want to come back and be a part of that. So I feel that what people could take away is that they can see the unity of the group, the pride of our members of the group, and just the community, because we have a lot of support from the community itself and different partners. So I think just taken away from Warwick celebrating 50. It's just really just love, support, celebration of the group and then of the tradition itself.
I once again, congratulations to you all on this. Wishing you a very, very big, happy 50 years of existence, and hoping that, look, the legacy can continue for another 50 with those who come behind you. And I say this, I like something you said. There's no pressure on, your daughter to take this on. I like that. If she's interested, let her go. But there may be other people and other people's daughters who may say, you know what, I want to continue this legacy on behalf of an organization that meant so much to me. So there's so many different ways to give back. Don't be a stranger. Thank you for making time for us, and all the best to you and are they called troops, the majorettes?
Group.
The rest of the group.
Very much.
I'll be looking to cheer you on from afar. So thank you for making time, and congrats once again, Michee. And to you.
Walk tall, Warwick United.
Walk tall. Michee Barclay, folks, if you appreciated that conversation this morning, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back after this break. You don't want to miss this. I want to see if anyone can get this trivia question today. Chances are you ain't got it. Stick with us.
Being from this little island, like yourself, we knew you needed access to reliable shipping. We set up mailboxes so you can skip all the long waits or held up in customs excuses.
With mailboxes, that won't happen. Get your packages in under 48 hours using our dashboard.
Plus, if you're a planner or headerer, our weekly consolidation service might be for you. We hold your packages in Delaware and ship them together to save you big time on shipping fees.
And with our warehouse being in Delaware, that means 0% sales tax. Pretty cool, right guys?
Did you know 3 out of 4 people say that they have a good understanding of life insurance? But do they really? When asked how much the yearly cost would be for a 20-year, $250,000 level term life insurance policy for a healthy 30-year-old, 80% overestimated the cost by 5 times the amount. Ready for this? The true cost for that policy is about $220 a year. That's as little as 66 cents a day, or $20 a month. So let's put this into perspective. Compared to other monthly costs, isn't getting life insurance a no-brainer? If you can trim back on some of these expenses just a little bit, it will allow you to dedicate the savings toward an affordable life insurance policy. Contact one of our life insurance agents today to find the right policy for you.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazoc Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Michee Barclay, and congratulations once again to Warwick United Majorettes and Drum Corps on celebrating 50 years. 50 years. Big up to them. If you haven't already, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Instagram, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. She gave us some history, some lessons. I never ever knew the Bermuda Regiment ever played with a majorette group. So that's interesting and awesome, and a sense of community as she explained how it came about. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, it is Bermuda Trivia today. Very easy one. Very easy one. You like sports, so you should know this question. All right. What Bermudian football player played professionally in the Major League Soccer, that's the MLS, for the New England Revolution? Well, I mean, you didn't get the name spelled right, but we know who you meant, Mark Arthur C. Phillips. It is Kanu Smith. Yes, Kanu Smith. WKD Lama. Got it, Kanu. No, not Randy Horton. Not David Bascom. Yep, Kanu Smith. Kanu Smith. Not Mr. Goder. Yep, Kanu Smith. Kanu Smith. Yes, Kanu. Yes, Kanu Smith. All right, you all did better than I thought. Yeah, Kanu Smith it is. But let's wrap it up. So, folks, man, sometimes these shows seem so long nowadays that we forget the discussion period earlier on, but we discussed whether a college degree is still worth it, and also what advice would you give to graduate 2025 college graduates. Look, the most I can say, man, is a college degree doesn't guarantee you anything. Get out, network, connect, learn as much as you can beyond the classroom. If you can't find a job, keep your head up. It's not the end of the world. It's important that we give advice prior to graduation, though. The sense of entitlement, as if because you paid for a college degree, thinking that you deserve a job because of that, probably isn't the best way to enter the professional workspace. But also, someone said earlier, enter the space with an entrepreneurial mindset. If opportunities are not there for you, create them. Figure something out. I think the best advice is understanding that your degree does not guarantee you any sort of success, but your attitude, that can help you. As far as the conversation with Michee Barclay and Warwick United, 50 years in the game, man, congratulations to them. That's what keeping a legacy alive is all about. Bringing together so many young women and young men to perform, to learn, to give back to the community, to put smiles on people's faces. I love it. And I'm hopeful that people understand the importance of majorettes to our culture. So let's celebrate them together. And when you see them, as they say in the comments, walking tall, cheer them on, celebrate them, and let them know we can't wait to support them for another 50 years. Here's your daily inspiration. It's from Anthony J. D'Angelo, who's an author. Quote, wherever you go, no matter what the weather, always bring your own sunshine, end quote. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.